So we're going to be doing a bit of a different video this time. Um, Basically, what I want to talk about is why I made this channel and a little bit of a background on me in regards to Magic the Gathering. So, I think my story regarding Magic started in 1996, shortly after Visions was released. I was in middle school at the time, and I was playing Pogs, and a bunch of the people I wanted to be friends with were playing Magic. And I was really bad. And they were all pretty decent. And I was doing really bad trades, and I had no idea what I was doing with deck building. I remember a few months into it, because we would play a lot of Two-Headed Giant, the other kids decided to draw straws to see who had to be on my team. So, obviously, that didn't feel very good. So, my solution was to decide to get pretty good at the game. I found a couple places that sold singles, and I started to put things together. And in the next year and a half, I had a decent red burn deck. And I was starting to understand deck building. And then I was starting to build other decent decks. Like, I was putting together pieces for a decent mono black control deck and a green stompy deck. And I was going out to different card stores and looking at more singles and understanding more interaction and more combo and things like that. Probably my first cool thing that happened in Constructed was going into this card shop, and there was a Saga had come out recently, and there was a player that had a very strong Tolarian Academy deck, and I had my little kid try and kill you on turn 4 mono green Stompy, and I beat him in a casual game, and that was pretty amazing. So from there, I just kept on brewing in casual decks, and through middle school and high school, and playing cards in various shops, and some close friends, and getting them better at the game, and teaching my parents how to play, and all sorts of things like that. And then in 2005, I was in a card shop, and there was Friday Night Magic, and it was Draft. And I'd never played Draft before. And again, I found that I was absolutely horrible at it. And I was in a shop where everybody was playing very high ranking and DCI, high 1700s, 1800s, low 1900s. there's probably 30 plus people every Friday in the shop. And I don't think for the entire block of Kamigawa, I don't think I won a single match. Maybe I won one match the whole time. And so I was like, I need to get good at this. So I studied a lot of basic theory online and what resources were available in the mid-2000s. And in the next couple blocks, I went from where I was winning no matches, to going 2-2 pretty regularly, and sometimes going 3-1 against the same field. And also, when I had the basic theory, I even just brought it printed out into the card store and tried to help anybody else who was having any difficulty. And then a couple years later, that shop was winding down, and so we all went to a different shop. A lot of the same players and some new ones, because it was in a different area. And in this shop, how drafts were run was everything valuable went into a pool and then was laddered off from first place down. So it even more incentivized you that you had to get good at it. And so with that additional push at this shop, about 7 to 8 out of 10 times, I would always be at 3-1, and sometimes even 3-0-1 or 4-0. And anyone who I beat or who I saw where maybe it wasn't optimal, either on sealed or on draft, I would always try and help them rework their deck. And with those that I was helping, then they would experience some wins after that, or things would go a bit smoother in their deck, or things of that sort. And that was like really rewarding to me. And then I started playing Commander, and in the beginning, Commander was pretty competitive. But when I came back to it around 2020, what I saw that it had turned into was a lot of, I guess you would say, net decking. But the people influencing the net decking weren't necessarily that good. And so, because everybody was using these net decked situations from these influencers, where the decks weren't always optimized, that turned into these databases like EDHREC, where someone bypassing the entire deck building side of the scene would go and replicate these decks or these cards or these ideas that weren't really optimal or weren't really good. You see, when I was playing in the 2000s and early 2010s, the people that were influencing the game were professional Magic players on the Pro Tour that were very good deck builders, like Travis Wu, or LSV or other channel fireable guys. And now it had changed to these people that, because of some personality quirk or some other social media aspect, they were the influencers. However, they weren't really caring very much about deck building either. Thus, we ran into the modern situation. Now, modernly, there's still some people who are influencing that are very good players, that are very inventive players. Like, you have LSV still doing it and Brian Koval. But these guys aren't really casual Commander guys. So that's why I created this space. Because I want to combine the idea of let's use good deck building theory to actually care about the deck building side of things. And let's expose the truth of deck building theory being put on the back burner. Because I was also experiencing this when I would play other people's decks and I would be like, why are these cards in here? Well, the reason why was that the whole structure of who people listen to or look at to get Magic advice has changed. And not changed for the better. So that's why I want to go back and put original thought into this. So I hope you guys like this little rant and speech and background and everything like that. And again, anything that you want me to help build, let me know. And I'll continue to show you how they're doing it wrong and potentially how to do things right. All right. And any other video about deck building theory or anything else that you guys want me to make, let me know too. Okay, I'll see you in the next one.